10 out of 10 stars. Impregnated my husband. As I am blind, it makes everyday life very difficult until I stumbled across this beauty. And when I say stumbled, I mean I literally fell. One day, while I was watching this magnificent movie of extravagant detail, or may I say, art, at about the midway through the wonder of Ratatoing, the braille subtitles that I was following with my nimble, bony fingers stopped making sense. All of a sudden, I could see a dim vision through the dark mist. Ratatouille. He smiled down at me, a benevolent god, and a feeling of total well-being permeated every fiber of my being. Somehow, this illustrious rat had cured my blindness, and for that, I am eternally grateful. As well as this, I also discovered that my husband was pregnant after viewing this movie. This was a wonderful surprise for us, and we now have 3 rat-human babies, all thanks to this miraculous film. In short, for its miracle work, as well as some stellar voice acting, I feel this movie deserves 10 stars. You're telling me if I watch this movie, a rat's gonna come out of my TV screen, I'm gonna slap my belly, slap my knee, rub my cheeks in canola oil, and get ready for a good old rousing round of impregnation? Gee whiz, I'm excited. Or at least that's what I think is going to happen after reading that review. It just made sense that that was the only review on IMDb I was gonna read for this movie. Just felt right. But Ratatouille is a ripoff of Ratatouille, and I love Ratatouille. My mom used to watch that every single night for a solid 2 years, so anyone can cook. Linguini, how dare you cook in my kitchen, boy? Special order. I have many vocal stems in my life that all relate to Ratatouille, so upon watching Ratatouille, I better get my nuts fondled by that rat for me to be having a good time. Either way, I'm excited. I've never seen this before. If you like videos just like this, like, subscribe, you know the drill. Let's get into Ratatouille. Alright, so I'm 10 minutes into Ratatouille, and I immediately have a major problem with this movie. It doesn't feel like the writers actually watched Ratatouille. I would much rather that the assistant bursts in like, Sir, the Pixar, they made another one, and a rat who cooks in a kitchen in Paris. It's made millions. And the studio head, the lead writer, he's just like, I know, I watched it. Anyone can cook. He rushes out of the office. He finds a fat man named Felipe and says, You're Felipe no longer. You are Gusteau. And every single night they have a passionate lovemaking. And right before the big lead writer is about to burst, about to come, the guy that he forced to become Gusteau has to say, anyone can cook. He has a body pillow of Remy. He names his son Linguini that he's already had for 8 years. His name was originally Chuck, but now he's like, You're Linguini, boy. I want him to be a big Ratatouille fan. Is that so much to ask? But it doesn't really feel like that's the case because this movie doesn't seem like it's going to have many correlations to Ratatouille. Other than that, it's about a rat who cooks, which I guess is really all you need. Going into the movie right away, it kind of feels like a manic episode in a sense. It feels like all of the voice actors are held at gunpoint and they're all like, all right, so in the city, it's a great time. Make it happier now. In the city, things are great. You know, that's kind of the vibe that it's giving me. It doesn't really feel like the voice actors are doing this consensually. It feels like they're definitely, you know, something bad is happening to them in the studio for them to be talking like this. I'm not really a fan of that. But it opens with us getting to see Rio. That's the city where this takes place, and it's just the narrator going, in the city, there is a rat, and in the city, this rat, then in the city, he's a good cook, in this city, he is great, and I genuinely feel like I'm going insane while listening to that. It's just very odd, and we get to see Chef Marcel. He is the best cook in all of the city. All of the rats come to visit him, and I gotta say, all of these rats look, very interesting, to say the least. They put a whole lot of effort into designing all of these rats. I can't believe how beautiful they all look. The animation is absolutely amazing. And so, for the first entire 10 minutes of this movie, it's literally just rats going around, either complaining or loving their food. And I was getting flashbacks from when I was a waiter from the majority of this stuff, because the majority of the time, it's the rats just going, oh yeah, this is good. How could you not like this? Oh my god, this is amazing. And then it just pans over to this one rat, and he's saying that it's good, but he's just sitting there staring down at his plate like, no, 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 no. No.
No, 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 no.
Everyone knows this is a great restaurant.
No, no, no. Like, are you okay, man? What's going on with you? Do you got a little bit of a problem? It's giving me flashbacks to when I was a waiter, and this like 95-year-old woman ordered a steak, and she ordered it well done, and I brought it, and she's just staring down like, this isn't right. What have you done to this? I'm like, I'm sorry, what's wrong with it? It's cooked too much, I need a new one. And so we brought her another one, and it was medium well because it was cooked too much. And mind you, this lady's sitting here like, it's not cooked right, because she doesn't have any teeth. She has no teeth, and she's ordering a well done steak. And we bring her a medium well, and she's like, this isn't cooked enough. And so we brought her another well-done steak, and she's like, this is, I'm tired, no, no, no. And she started panicking. That lady still tipped me $10, though, so that was an elegant experience. I could not help this woman having a mental crisis with her steak shenanigans, but that was just a common day when it came to being a waiter. Just people getting really freaky. And then we encounter this stupid fucking buffoon of a rat. I can't believe that this guy even exists. He genuinely was just asking to get curb stomped, because he's sitting there and he has a fly in his food, and he's all like, waiter, I have a problem. This is a big problem. And I think he's gonna complain about the fly. He doesn't. He's sitting there and he's all like, I ordered the gorgonzola sauce, and I gotta say, this is Caesar sauce. And the waiter rat takes one look at it, and he goes, no, sir, that's the gorgonzola. The guy's like, oh, you're right. How could I not know that?
Huh? What the heck is this? Waiter!
But this definitely is gorgonzola, sir. It is not camembert.
Oh, you're right. I somehow confused them. I'm so terribly sorry.
You didn't try your food, you little stinky rat. You didn't look down, give it a taste, and be like, gorgonzola. What the hell is this? What was the point of that? That was the tension for like the first 5 minutes, was this rat being all like, excuse me, something's wrong. Just for the waiter to walk up and be like, no, man, gorgonzola. Oh, okay. That was an interesting guy, to say the least. I didn't like that guy very much. And we just get to see more and more people eating all their food, all the rats enjoying it. This tiny little rat gets a cheeseburger, and his father's all like, oh no, you shouldn't eat that, boy. You shouldn't eat that. It's processed cheese. And we get the thrilling joke that genuinely made me stand up, start clapping. My balls even started clapping together in pure delight, pure acceptance, because the little rat child's like, I like processed cheese. I really have a taking to plastic. I love it.
Yes, Daddy, I love cheddar.
Is that so? But that ain't cheese. It's just plastic.
You're kidding.
That's okay, Mom. As it happens, I'm also very partial to plastic.
That's the joke. So, like, their comedy's on point for the movie. I'm really enjoying it so far. But yeah, just first 10 minutes is just them going around saying how much they love the food. Eventually, Marcel is back in the kitchen, and he's talking to one of his customers. And again, it kind of feels like they made this movie for people who have CTE. It doesn't necessarily feel like it's made for kids, because it feels like it's even dumbed down to a point where, like, genuinely I would need my head bashed in with a frying pan to be, comprehending what's going on. Because there's this guy named Greg, and he's all like, hey, Marcel, we gonna be getting out of here soon? Marcel's like, no, it's Thursday. And this guy deadass just looks at him, and he's all like, oh yeah, Thursday's the night where we do the special thing. What the fuck? What the fuck are we doing? I know it's a low-budget rip-off movie, so it doesn't matter very much, but who writes that? Like, who's like, oh man, we need some subtle foreshadowing that's gonna get them to want to watch this movie more. Have big old fat green Greg say, Thursday's the night where we do this special thing. And nobody talks to him after that. Just it's Thursday, special thing tonight. Get ready for it. Just that's all he says, and they immediately move on to the next scene. The dialogue, impeccable. Gotta love it. So Marcel, he eventually has to go out there and talk to the customers because they all want to know the secret to his wondrous recipes. And he's at a table and he just sits there and he's going,
Well, let me tell you what the recipe is. It's lots of dedication and hard work.
All of the food prepared here is lots of...
Come on, out with it!
Lots and lots and lots of...
woo! Brilliant. That's where I am after 10 minutes. 10 minutes into a 40-minute movie. That is all that has happened. I am thoroughly and unbelievably excited to continue with this film. I have no idea where it's gonna go. I don't even know what to expect. But I'm having a great time. I kind of feel like I'm like entering a manic state of existence where, you know, I'm not feeling real. But I think that's just part of the Ratatouing experience. All right, so another 10 minutes down in this 40-minute banger, and we get a little bit of conflict. At the restaurant that night, there was a rival restaurant that was trying to learn the secret ingredients from Marcel. And they don't figure it out, but then they go out and stand outside of the restaurant and just have a conversation. And genuinely, if I was listening to this and there were different voice actors, you could tell me that it was a dude just in a straitjacket like, we need the secret ingredient. How do we get it? The secret ingredient? Oh, we got to get Marcel. Secret ingredient? It's just so weird, the things that they decided to do for this dialogue, because even if, like, you're getting American voice actors, this was made in Brazil, to do this, you still have to listen to it back and see if it makes sense. And I'm sorry, but characters just sitting there going, we need the secret ingredient. He wouldn't give it to us, the secret ingredient. Like, it just feels a little bit manic to me. And then I'm just thrusted into one of the greatest scenes that I have ever seen in any form of film, where initially I thought it was the female rat that is friends with Marcel. I genuinely thought we were either going to get a seductive like 2 minutes of her for a second, because it goes from secret ingredient to like a body shot of the female rat like putting something on, and I was like, is she putting on a gimp suit? No, they're all suiting up for their adventure, and for like a solid minute and 30 seconds, it is just them staring at the camera as they put on clothes and walk at the camera all goofy, that I felt like I was entering a parallel universe. I can't imagine genuinely animating something like this. Like, you just get all these close-ups of their crotches and their bellies as they put on a bunch of different gear and just have them slowly walk at the camera like they're badass, like they got an immeasurable amount of swag. And it was just a very interesting thing to see. I couldn't believe how long they went on with this scene of them getting suited up for their big old mission. I found that to be very interesting, to say the least. I think they really knocked it out of the park with that, you know, suit up scene. So we then cut back to all of the rats that are the evil other restaurant, and one of them just utters out the words, "Oh no, I left our secret ingredient notebook with all of our secrets at the restaurant. I should go back and get it." Oh, okay. Oh, that's an interesting plot device, but I was ready for it. And so we then cut back to our Operation Marcel of how they get their food, and they apparently go to the kitchen and try to like rob them of the stuff there. Okay, cool. That's actually an interesting part of the movie, I guess. And then the rat who left her notebook goes to the restaurant, and who's directing this? Who told her to do this? Who told her that this is what you do when you enter a room? She walks up to where the restaurant is, the door to it, and she starts going, "Ah! Ah! Is anyone there? Anyone at all? Ah! Hello?"
Hello?
What are you doing? You're trying to sneak in there and get your notebook back. You're not trying to let them know that you're here, so why are you going, "Ah! Ah!" Well, what was the purpose of this? How does that help your case? And then we get to watch her slowly meander her way over to her notebook, and she gets it back, and this gives her the idea to maybe do a little bit of snooping and see how they get such fresh ingredients so that they can learn their secrets so that they could be a better restaurant. So then we get this scene of Marcel and his two rat buddies trying to steal this strawberry, and things go a little bit crazy, things go a little bit awry. The evil female rat walks in and sees them, and she's like, "Oh no! They steal from the kitchen! This all makes sense!" And Marcel gets saved. He's fine. And then, I don't know if the animators were having like a little bit of fun there. Like they really needed to showcase and explain to anybody with CTE that was watching this that the rat was walking away. But there's like this 10-second like walking away scene of the female rat where it's just her walking with her big old hips shaking that can as she's walking away all villainous.
Huh?
I guess to explain to us that she saw them, even though there was an entire scene where she was all like, this is how they get their secret ingredients, I'll figure this out. They decided that they must add a 10-second scene of the rat walking away menacingly, shaking her can vigorously. That was, interesting. I don't know, they just got such interesting animation choices for this movie, like interesting voice acting, interesting animation, and all of it comes together to make a truly impregnating experience. I am slowly starting to feel a fetus developing inside of me, and that's something I've always wanted as a man. I gotta say. So that's another 10 minutes down. We'll see where this goes. All right, so I went ahead and finished those last 20 minutes of probably the greatest film I will ever see in my entire life. And it got really wacky, to say the least. They definitely decided to put everything into this final 20 minutes to truly make it a movie that you would never forget. So you have all the evil rats conglomerating and saying, "He goes and does Mission Impossible. We have to find a way to stop him." And I'm thinking, how could they possibly stop Marcel Ratatoing from getting his ingredients? So eventually they go into like this human restaurant and they're all standing under a table, and I thought, oh, so they're gonna, show that there's rats in the kitchen to make it worse. And then I genuinely thought for one split second that they were all having a massive orgy. I really did. And can you blame me? Because when all of a sudden all the rats are just sitting there talking and they're like, "I have an idea," and then all of a sudden I just see, oh, from all of the rats as they're bouncing upwards. What am I supposed to think? What am I supposed to think that they're doing? Apparently they're just doing a little bit of a wacky dance to get into the mood to harass humans, I guess. But they're just sitting there going like, la 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 la, oh, la 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 la, oh, like over and over again. And this is genuinely, like, why I keep saying that this movie is making me feel like I'm having a manic episode. Genuinely, if you ever have a friend who's high as shit, he's on ayahuasca, shrooms, acid, he took too big of a hit of some ganj, show him this scene and he'll just be like, and he'll develop CTE himself because he just can't take it, because genuinely, what is going on? And they do this for so long, for like a solid minute and 30 seconds, it's just la la la, oh, just over and over again. Like, if I didn't know the context of what was happening, which I barely do, I really would just think that they're pounding some of that rat ass, because that's just like it's not explained why they do this, by the way. I'm assuming it was just for a little bit of comedy, some slapstick, which I guess it works in that sense, but I can't fathom what would make them desire to just, start going la la la, oh, la la la, oh, over and over and over again. It really made me think that I wasn't here. I wasn't real. I'm dreaming. This couldn't be fathomed. This couldn't have been conjured up. This definitely makes me continue with my theory that they didn't watch Ratatouille, because how would you watch something like Ratatouille and then be all like, "Oh yes, we need them to stare at the screen. This is how we'll make millions. Okay, now everyone prepare your voices for over and over again." That was one of the most interesting scenes I've ever seen in my entire life, genuinely. So they go around and scare all of the humans and make all of the humans very frightened, which makes the people who own the restaurant want to put in more rat traps to ensure that no rats show up ever again. And so Marcel, he's going on another journey to get more food because they're mostly out of food, and so he eventually finds this piece of chocolate, and then we see one of the greatest animated cats that I've ever seen. It gives Garfield a run for his money with its big old fat gluttonous belly. It is the like pure visual of greed with its big belly and chasing him like this. The cat looks really, really beautiful. I honestly would prefer this over Into the Spider-Verse, over Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I think it is one of the greatest animated things that I have seen in a very long time with its big bulbous cat belly. I love it. As it's chasing Marcel around, Marcel eventually has to ditch the chocolate and he's not able to get it, so the restaurant is out of even more food. And so he makes the decision that he has to go and try to steal food again. We only have about 5 minutes left. What could happen? He swings over and he's like, all right, everybody, grab the cheese while I stay over here. Hey, come on, go get the cheese right now. And that's when the cat shows up, just giving, honestly, a mog face. He just looks maxing at this rat as the cat's just staring down at him.
It's Marcel toying. That's me, all right.
As Marcel is like, I'm gonna distract the cat, and the cat's just mogging him real good, just staring down at him, and eventually starts chasing him once again, running like this. So that was pretty great. And then off screen, Marcel befriends the cat because apparently the cat was just hungry, and the cat now will let them get whatever food they want, and that is the climax of the movie. They could get whatever food they want, and so the restaurant thrives. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. Wow. What a movie. What a movie. I truly feel like I've ascended to the next level solely because of this viewing experience. I don't think anything could have been better than watching Ratatouille. It is 40 minutes of excellence with some of the greatest forms of comedy, some of the greatest forms of animation, and I truly feel like after this experience is said and done, I am impregnated. I feel like that review stayed true to what is said. I feel like they put it deep inside, and I have a fetus growing and ready. Perhaps I'll give birth to like 6 rats, and I'll feel even better about who I am as a person with my illustrious rat-human hybrid family. The impregnation process was better than I could have asked for, and it's all thanks to Ratatouille. A 10 out of 10 movie experience. So I figured to help with the impregnation process, I would read a couple more 10 out of 10 reviews to kind of seal the deal that it's okay to let Ratatouille put a fetus inside of you. So here we are.
10 out of 10. The cat was more scary than my overweight neighbor. So, you may ask yourself, Finn, how does a caring gentleman like yourself come across a movie with this temperament? Now, I know my mama would whoop me if she knew I watched this, but that's besides the point. Ratatouille brought enlightenment into my life with such outstanding scenes like when they are gearing up to steal from the kitchen. Did I mention this movie promotes stealing? And I swear, I see that moment in my dreams, though that may just be because they show it like 17 times in the movie. Besides that small continuity error, Ratatouille can cure diseases, boredom, and obnoxious children alike. That's because the graphics are so bad, they are guaranteed to have a stroke. But hey, like I said, 10 out of 10. Can you see the beauty in all of that? Can you imagine your big fat neighbor named Joe with his gluttonous big belly walking over and just being like, oh, do you have any cholesterol I can drink? And the fear you felt, the fear that you felt with that, wasn't as scary as a cat. I feel like that just goes to great lengths to showcase how great Ratatouille was with its character designs. The cat being such a fierce menace in the film, being more frightening than your fat overweight neighbor, I feel like is a testament to how beautiful the animation truly is. Now, also mentioning the beauty of the gearing up scene, which once again probably went out for a solid 10 minutes of the film, because I didn't mention it, but they did repeat that over and over and over again to truly get you hyped for every single expedition. It was beautiful, it was exciting, it was everything I needed in my life. And that little small thing that he says at the end there, that it can cure diseases, boredom, and obnoxious children because they might have a stroke, that just truly goes to showcase what Ratatouille can bring to a community. Show it to your young child that you're sick of, and they will just crumble to the floor and be unwilling to do anything with the rest of their life. Maybe die, maybe be paralyzed, but hey, it was all worth it so you could watch Ratatouille and become pregnant.
10 out of 10. The gods have descended upon us. Ratatouille captures the pure godlike essence that radiates from these rat things. Through the power of editing and clears several years of grueling work, this wonderful movie was finally released and cured us of the crippling depression. Also, this movie cured my cancer, and I now own 50 rats by the name of Marcel, and they live in a giant cage with a sign on front that reads Ratatoing. Every night I pray to them after I watch the entirety of this movie 3 times. The masterpiece is truly one of a kind. You should definitely buy it because no matter how much it costs, you will have no regrets.
And how could I say that any better? Zero regrets, zero fear. I love this review. Not only does he mention the pure godlike essence and hard work that it went into creating this movie, he refers to the rats as rat things. Absolutely beautiful. Couldn't ask for a better dialect in order to describe a rat. And also, he mentions once again that it cured his cancer. Can you imagine just being dripped up? You got IVs hooked up onto you, and you watch just a single little frame of Ratatouille, and you just... You just hear angelic singing befall you as all of a sudden you feel like you're in the prime of health. And it's all thanks to Ratatouille. And not to mention, I just have to include it, but with his cancer being cured, according to that first review, he should also theoretically now be impregnated. It is a beautiful work of art that can truly change a person's life. We cannot let that be forgotten. I also should be buying a ton of rats, praying to them, uttering Ratatouille, 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 until I honestly die a beautiful death with my hundreds of rat babies, because I just had so many rats birthed from my manly uterus. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below if there's anything I need to work on. I don't know how I feel about this video. Sometimes at the end of the video, I worry that I'm not comedic enough, because that's kind of the main thing I got going for me. So let me know if you enjoyed this one. I would really appreciate it. Ratatouille was kind of hard to talk about because it's really just bad voice acting and bad animation, and I have to keep making jokes about that. But overall, it was a decent experience, to say the least. I got impregnated. What more could I ask for? I got lots of good content on the way. You don't want to miss it. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.